In the swirling chaos of the market where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, most investors are caught in a frantic dance. They chase the quick wins, the fleeting trends, the sugar rush of a holiday rally. Their eyes are glued to the immediate, the now, the next quarter's earnings report. They're all looking at the same map, following the same crowded roads to the same predictable destinations. But what if the greatest opportunities aren't on that map at all? What if the real treasure lies far from the noise, in the quiet, desolate landscapes of the far north? This is the story of a different kind of investor. We'll call him Elias. While his peers were betting on this year's hottest tech gadget or the next big retail boom, Elias was looking elsewhere. He wasn't just looking at a different stock. He was looking at a different horizon altogether. His gaze was fixed on the Arctic, a place most people saw as a frozen, empty wasteland. But Elias saw something different. He saw a future waiting to be unlocked. He pored over geological surveys, satellite imagery, and obscure scientific papers. He spoke with climatologists, engineers, and indigenous elders who understood the land better than anyone. They told him stories of the changing ice, of new passages opening, and of a power sleeping beneath the permafrost. Everyone called him crazy. The Arctic? What's there but ice and polar bears? His colleagues would scoff. Stick to what works, Elias. Don't chase ghosts. They saw him as a dreamer, lost in a fantasy while the real world passed him by. But Elias wasn't chasing a ghost. He was following a star. A faint, distant glimmer of an idea that only he could see. It was a concept so radical, so far-fetched, that it sounded like science fiction. He envisioned a world where the very cold of the Arctic could be harnessed, transformed into a clean, limitless source of energy. Not through wind or solar, but through something new, thermoelectric conversion on a massive planetary scale. He imagined a network of subterranean generators, drawing on the immense temperature differential between the planet's core and the frozen surface, creating a silent, powerful, and permanent energy source. This was his North Star, a single, guiding point of light in a universe of market noise. It wasn't about a quick profit. It was about a generational shift. It was a bet on a future that was decades away, so he began to invest. Not in flashy startups with slick presentations, but in the building blocks of his vision. He acquired land rights in remote, forgotten territories. He funded early-stage research into cryogenic materials and geothermal engineering. He supported small, specialized companies that were developing the technology he knew would one day be essential. Every dollar he invested felt like a whisper into the void. His portfolio didn't surge with the holiday markets. In fact, for years it barely moved. He watched others celebrate their short-term gains, their successful trades, while his own wealth seemed frozen, locked away in the ice just like his vision. There were moments of doubt, of course. The loneliness of conviction is a heavy burden. Was he a visionary or was he a fool? Was it worth sacrificing his present for a future that might never arrive? But every time he felt that doubt, he would look at his research, at the slow but steady progress in the labs he funded, at the maps of the changing Arctic. He would remember the core principle that guided him. In a world obsessed with the immediate, the greatest power belongs to those who can think beyond the next season, beyond the next year, beyond their own lifetime. His investment wasn't just in companies, it was an investment in patience, in long-term vision. Then, slowly, the world began to change. The old energy sources dwindled. The climate crisis deepened. The need for a new solution became not just urgent, but desperate. Suddenly, the world started looking for answers in unconventional places. Scientists began publishing papers on the very theories Elias had been funding for years. Governments started to see the strategic importance of the Arctic not as a barrier, but as a gateway to the future. And then it happened. A small pilot project built on the land he had secured years ago successfully generated power. It was a small amount, barely enough to power a research station, but it was proof. The whisper in the void had become an echo. The echo grew into a rumble. Other investors, the same ones who had mocked him, started to notice. They scrambled to catch up, but Elias was already there. He wasn't just at the table, he had built the table. The faint star he had followed for so long was now a blazing sun, illuminating a new era. The Arctic, once seen as a barren wasteland, became the epicenter of a new global economy. The technologies he had nurtured became the foundation of the world's power grid. His quiet, patient investments made while everyone else was chasing holiday trends had blossomed into an empire. But it was more than that. He hadn't just become wealthy, he had become a pioneer. He had reshaped the world. Elias's story is a powerful lesson for all of us, and it goes far beyond investing. We live in a culture of instant gratification. We want results now. We celebrate the sprint, the hustle, the overnight success. We are constantly told to seize the day, to live in the moment. And while there is wisdom in that, we often forget the profound power of long-term vision. We forget the quiet strength of the person who plants a tree knowing they may never sit in its shade. Think about your own life, your own goals. Are you chasing the quick, fleeting trends? Or are you guided by a North Star? A deep, personal conviction about the future you want to build, for yourself and for others. This could be mastering a difficult skill, building a meaningful business, nurturing a relationship, or contributing to a cause you believe in. These things don't happen overnight. They require the same patience and foresight that Elias demonstrated. They require you to invest your time and energy even when there are no immediate rewards, to hold on to your vision even when no one else can see it. The transformative lesson here is simple but profound. In a season obsessed with now, the rare soul thinks beyond December, beyond the present. The greatest achievements, the most lasting legacies, are rarely the product of frantic, short-term effort. They are born from a quiet, unwavering focus on a distant point of light. They are for the ones who dare to look up from the crowded map and find their own North Star. So the next time you feel the pressure to keep up, to chase the next shiny object, take a moment. Look beyond the immediate horizon. What is the future you want to invest in? What is your North Star? Find it. Follow it. And trust that while others are celebrating the fleeting victories of today, you are building the world of tomorrow. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that looks beyond the obvious. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Always remember, the surge begins within, carry it forward.